For your safety, please remember to remain fully seated at all times, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs in half. Once the warning is ready, volumes down. This will be the next one. So heading through. Now, of course, since we are entering the animals' homes, they're going to do. Right away, we're going to see lots of antelope species. There's a couple copper-colored antelopes up there. Those are going to be bongos, also known as the ghost of the forest. Horns slanted backwards, allowing the leaves to slide on by. They're really good at hiding, just like the greater kitty. Taller tan antelopes stand about 5 feet high to just their shoulders, more so known for their agility skills. Gracefully, they'll hop on over any obstacles in the way to stay hidden, while the okapi is on your right. The okapi wasn't discovered until their striped legs, brown coat, and very long tongue. Almost like a large hand, much on the stronger leaves and grasses nearby, but their tongues are so long, they'll use them to clean their baby okapi our first 2 months that they're born. That way, no predators can smell them out as they're still learning their surroundings and learning how to walk around. It's pretty cool, I think. Now, many animals like the okapi, the greater kitty, or the bongos, they're very social. So they can hang out in very large social groups, really using grass. Another one, but again, they are going to be solitary. They prefer to kind of claim their own territories and hang out by themselves. But I do see a bird species. They'll stand about 5 feet tall, and they're named after the yellow coloration on their beak, looking like a saddle. They'll rattle their beaks to speak to one another, which is a pretty cool sight. Now, as you saw, all these animals are alive now. Lots of birds down below. These larger white birds with the larger beaks and feet are 500 individuals within, so very social, also known to be colonial. I need everybody, please have a seat. There's no standing allowed, so please have a seat. That's for your safety, so y'all don't cover any of those bubbles or ripples. Hopefully they'll live for quite a while, making them really hard to see at times. As now, hippopotamus can hold their breath for several minutes, so even while they're sleeping, they'll naturally rise and fall without waking up to catch their breath. Nice and hidden. So if we're lucky, we may see them sunbathing up ahead on these river islands, or maybe playing within. A little hard to see, but remember, everybody must stay fully seated, full bottoms, full laps for the entirety of this parade. And unfortunately, I cannot cross this bridge until everybody in the back has a seat. So please do not raise your little ones like Simba out and fully seated. We want everybody to stay nice and safe, especially as we are about to cross
in the water.
Territory. The 9 feet long. They're known for their very powerful jaw strength and they're young.
Crocodile.
In which will some mountains sure carry their young in their jaws, protect them from sleep. And they're just walk between land and water to regulate the trash and chemicals appropriately. Helps us as we get a little bit closer to a much larger, wider, hotter habitat.
Ride Mari
Just like this very large tree coming up on our right hand side, this will be the baobab tree. Now baobab trees are sometimes nicknamed the upside down tree. You'll notice that those branches look very similar to it. They tend to stay leafless for about 9 months out of the year, allowing lots of water to be stored inside, in which they kind of act like a large sponge. Animals tend to walk up to the baobab trees here shortly as we get a little bit more clearance to head on into the savannah. Start talking about each one is the tallest land animals on Earth, creating these beautiful tree lines, providing shade for themselves, but also for those around them. Like all the animals grazing on the grasses, keep them nice and short. Just like the dazzle or family of Hartman mountain zebra up ahead. Hartman mountain zebra are going to be one of 3 species of zebra found here now. All stripes and spots will eventually pick out with you. Pretty curious animals, we'll get pretty close to them just momentarily, but first we're going to head on. They can stay nice and hidden in those sides. Led by an alpha male or pair within their packs, and up ahead on our left are tan antelopes, are known as elands, and then those dark brown antelopes hiding in that circle, those are going to run far away from danger. So we like to say that they'll fight rather than shoulders, more so known for their agility skills. Gracefully, they'll hop under any obstacles. They're going to be the second most densely populated animal on Earth, right behind humans. Not a herd, known to travel in huge migrations every year with thousands of miles. They like to stay pretty close to one another. Hence why sometimes you'll hear them making noises similar to a cow.
Right here.
We're going to get much closer to giraffes, though. You'll notice that their spots almost look like paint splotches, so but if you think about it, as humans, we have 7 vertebrae or bones in our neck. So do the giraffes. Their vertebrae is just a little larger than ours. They only sleep a total of 30 minutes of the day out of the whole week. These vertical tree lines with that way they don't get sunburned. Surprisingly, giraffes can move really quickly if they want to. They can. You'll see the dazzle and family of Hartman mountain hillside, but probably the rest of the okapi will get get them. So if you think way back to the Little Etruria Forest, that was a female okapi that we saw on here. And sometimes their heights will give away who they are. So up ahead on our right, really 10 feet high. Going about 6 can help everybody because you can find. I'll admit, sometimes it's really hard to see some animals out this way. Other times, not so much. Really just depends on how they're feeling, whether or not they want to be in between those red clays or right in between those trees and brushes, right in the open there.
Mandrill from Lion
They are going to look very similar to Rafiki. Colorations for some lots of good particles. Plus, older electronics we no longer use. We can use the same amount versus taking too much away from others that utilize it. Especially here, you'll get a really good idea of how this is African elephant territory. You'll see how tall these red clay walls are, even hiding us. There's ivory tusk marks both left and right, and some very large footprints kind of veering off to our left, where hopefully we'll start to see them. I think we will. They're going to be right in between all those red clays on our left, so we'll keep on cruising along. We'll get much closer to them up ahead. Now, this probably is the matriarch or family of female African elephants. They tend to hang out in large social groups like so. Male African elephants are going to hang out by themselves or in very small bachelor groups in comparison. Miles away, even like bees buzzing. So there also is trumpeting, but they tend to make some super low bumbles or noises that us humans cannot hear at all. Pretty cool to think about, especially with baby African elephant over there closest to the baobab tree. The baby there is a little bit more than 2 years old. Gestation periods for African elephants tend to last about 2. They're just happily munching away there, but if they need any water, another great place. Lots of African
We're going in the water now.
Also fun with this really great lightning coloration on their feathers, which in general comes from their diet, brine shrimp. Brine shrimp has a protein known as beta-carotene, which gives them all that pink color that you'll see. It's color to them, but you can see right away this one might be for the water holes, some others. Especially as you're looking at the bases of the trees of the logs, some animals will use them to help spread that mud all over their bodies. And then after they're done, they'll kind of go hide in the shadows to stay nice and cool, maybe go out and about to sunbathe. So look at your eyes peeled in between the tree lines here. Hopefully see some animals hiding. Just like the ostrich, the fastest animal in 2 legs with 3 or 4 toes. So very unique for the ostrich. Reach about 60 to 70 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Since they are being more so like a bird just makes them kind of pretty cool sounds to hear. But just like so, their camouflage is really good. If you can imagine the light shining down through the leaves and brushes really harshly, sometimes the cheetahs look almost invisible. So sometimes they're really hard to find. The lioness and the females are going to do most of the hunting. No need to yell. I love the Trojan pride. Pride is their family name, and if you want to say line in Swahili, they'll be known as Simba. And some animals get really pounds. Nearby the ostriches, you'll find one. Top left, beautiful young lions. Of course, they are going to give. But we are going to slowly pull head on away from these high grounds. We're just being able to burrow. They tend to reuse burrows rather than make their own. When they're ready to go into the burrows, they're going to go backwards in, test facing. Now they're almost as fast. You'll see the white riders once more on that back towards. Pull the clutch grip of ostriches. As of ordinance, they'll do lots with conservation. Conservation is just the goal of keeping them balanced and harmony between us humans and all the really cool animals we're able to see today. So we'll start to see lots of conservation efforts just around the bends here. You'll notice either eat and drink or sell back in the village for profit. So very good for the wardens, also very good for the goats. They love the companionship and the protection that they receive from the wardens, a really good relationship that they have. Just outside, and then you might have noticed that triangular yellow box out front, which is a beehive fence. So it's covering to listen out for bees buzzing from miles away. So having beehive fences around African farmlands protects the crops from potentially getting eaten by the African elephants, provides a home for the bees to live in, but most importantly, protects those African elephants from dangers like poaching. Unfortunately, most of the animals we've seen today are either animals. Gaining that knowledge and spreading that awareness to fellow friends and family members is one of the most important first steps as you're heading on through, especially here in the Growth Falls Walking Trail, over in Asia, the Baccarat Dome Check Trail, and around the Tree of Life, the Tree of Life Garden. On all of those, you can earn some Wilderness Explorer badges, so if you are a Wilderness Explorer on board, remember the name of our truck today, Simba 1. SI-MBA 1. Simba 1 will be the name of our truck in order to earn that badge. Just up the road to the right with the next Wilderness Explorer cast member. They'll be standing just before the entrance of the Growth Falls Walking Trail, nearby the standby stroller parking, but if you have any other shoulders left waiting to disembark.